Hey, what's up guys? Alright, this is video number 3, answering Dan's question, this question from Dan M. Of all the different ways, which would you recommend best to jump into that has the best chance of weathering growing competition and changes in the marketplace for at least the next few years? So, we talked about retail arbitrage and online arbitrage on Amazon. We talked about Amazon private label. So now I'm going to talk about traditional eBay. And when I talk about traditional eBay, what I mean by that is you get a physical product, you put it on eBay and you sell it. When somebody buys it, you ship it to them, there you go. So this is kind of what I cut my teeth on when I started selling online, was on eBay. So I've sold everything from airplanes to real estate to nursing bras. So whatever it is, I've probably sold it. That, I think, eBay is going to be around. eBay's a huge force. Yes, Amazon's taken some market share, but there's a huge cult of loyal following into eBay. I told you I went to the Amazon Boost conference. I also went to the eBay Open in Vegas. They had a big conference for 5 days or 4 days for eBay sellers. And I got to tell you, I was really impressed with, number one, the event that they put on. Number two, the quality of the people there, the time they took. It really seemed like they cared about building their business, and they cared about their sellers. Now, eBay has, I think, 172 million users or something. It's a crazy amount. I think you're going to see some real innovation come out of eBay. I think they're going to follow, probably. I would not be surprised if you started to see an FBA type situation for eBay. But anyhow, eBay as a platform is great. They're easy to work with. They're fair. You can get somebody on the phone. I have an eBay concierge that I get a call back within 1 minute every time. So that's great. Now some of that is either you pay for an upgraded plan or you have been with them a long time and they reward you. I wish Amazon would do that, but eBay is great that way. I love the company, love the platform. That's all good. So as far as sustainability and competition and everything else, there is always competition. The big factor there is where you're sourcing your products from. So I think I'm going to do another video about eBay dropshipping, which is all brand new stuff. If you have a source to buy brand new stuff and you can get it wholesale or whatever and sell it on eBay, great. Most eBayers that are doing it in the traditional sense are thrifters, or they're going to auctions or whatever. So I'm going to talk about those things. I didn't do any thrifting, although I know a lot of people that do, and there's huge margins in that. It's a little bit labor intensive. If you buy a sports coat at Goodwill for $3, sometimes you can sell them online for $100, $200, so the margins are incredible. But you got to measure it, you got to take good photos, you got to do all that stuff. So you have to get kind of set up for it. But that's not going to change. That's a very sustainable business. Like used things like that, it's like the world's largest thrift store. I think that's super sustainable. It's very inexpensive to get started. There's a lot of pros. Now what I didn't want to go to thrift stores. Just me personally, didn't suit my personality. So I did two things primarily. One is I would buy Amazon returns. One thing that's happening is the online market is getting huge, and people return things like crazy all the time. Whether they're damaged, whether they're brand new, whether they change their mind. We made it so easy to return things that's what happens. So I was buying returns, shelf pulls, which is where a retailer changes seasons. They just pull all the brand new stuff, still with tags on it, throw it in a box and auction it off. Those kinds of things. So what I was buying was all brand new stuff. So again, I have to receive those physical goods. I have to have room to store them. You have to figure out your shipping, which is pretty easy, but you got to kind of get set up for all this. But it's a super sustainable business model, and the margins are really, really good. So I will give you a tip. I bought a lot of my returns, which I kind of stopped doing this just because my other businesses have matured enough that I have other things to do. But anyways, I have a ton of inventory. If anybody wants to make a deal, I'll make you a deal on some inventory. But anyhow, you receive those physical products. I would go on liquidation.com. It's a public, easy to do. You go on there, they'll have lot after lot after lot after lot after lot of Amazon returns. So those vary in condition from brand new to total throwaway trash. So the first thing I would do when I receive a box, if you're interested, comment below. Maybe I'll do a video and I'll order a box from Liquidation just to show you how it goes. But anyways, I would have a trash can, and then you take about half of it goes in the trash. Then I have a Goodwill barrel, because some things aren't worth selling by the time you pay the eBay fees, shipping, PayPal, so on and so forth. Throw those in Goodwill. You cull it down to a small pile of just the things that are really good. And then I have a light box. I got a studio set up to really take good pictures. And I can list them pretty fast. I can do probably 10 to 20 listings an hour. So that could go pretty quick. The one nice thing about that is you have the physical stuff there. It's in your house, in your possession. You spend $200 and you have something to show for it right then. So that's kind of cool. Anyways, I think that's a super sustainable. I also did auctions. I went live to auctions and bought all kinds of things. And again, it's a little bit labor intensive. I like going to the auction just because it's fun. You go there and you bid and whatever. And I would buy all kinds. I bought so much stupid stuff just because it was cheap. I couldn't help myself. But besides that, I bought a ton of. I remember the last one I went to. I bought some wheel caps for a pickup truck. Center caps for a wheel. I bought them for $2. I think they had like 28 of them or something. I bought them for $2 a piece. I bought this whole big bin of them, and I sold them on eBay for $30 a piece. And they sold out right away. They're super easy. So I think if you're willing to put in the effort to go do sourcing, however that is, whether it's on liquidation, buying Amazon returns, going to auctions, going to garage sales, going to thrift stores, I think that is a super sustainable business. Easy to get into, relatively speaking, and the returns are great. Your cash-on-cash return is phenomenal in that business. So I think if you can live within the parameters of having to store everything and do all that work, it's a great business, very sustainable long-term. So that's what I think about eBay and the long-term viability as it relates to traditional eBay. So hope you liked it. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.